Let's come back to France now with a tradition that 9 out of 10 French people take part in, most of them doing it either today or at any point in the whole month of January. That is eating what's called la galette des rois, or king's cake. Now, it's often associated with the festival of Epiphany, or the moment when the wise men, or the three kings, celebrated the birth of Jesus. But our Solange Moujane tells us a bit more about this tradition that's even older than that.
Across the globe, it goes by many names. King's cake, baby cake. In many Spanish-speaking nations, it's roscon de reis. In Portuguese, bolloré. In France, it's called la galette des rois. So many different designations paired with countless recipes. Often associated with the Christian tradition of the Epiphany or January 6th, the origin story of the king's cake, though, isn't Christian at all. It's actually pagan. It's thought to date back to ancient Rome and the feast of Saturnalia, a banquet in honor of the god Saturn. It was a carnival of sorts where Roman social norms were toppled for the duration of the festivities. Slaves could be the king of their table for a day or two.
We're certain that in the Roman times, and possibly the Greek or the 3rd century BC, there's a celebration with a round cake with something hidden inside.
Today in France, some 50 million galettes des rois are sold every year, each with a hidden prize or la fève inside, to designate the king or queen of the meal. So that there's no cheating, the tradition is for the youngest person to go under the table and to call out who gets which slice.
C'est pour qui? Mommy!
Originally a bean, little porcelain figurines now designate who wins the role of king or queen. And most want to be that lucky one.
J'ai trouvé la fève!
But historically, and still in some cultures and households, if you happen to get the trinket, you pay the tab. So some used to swallow the bean or fève. There is one place, though, that the eaters of France's galette des rois need not worry about breaking a tooth when biting into the layers of dough and almond paste. And that's the Élysée Palace. Mindful of the French Revolution, when the king's cake was temporarily rebaptized a quality cake, no king can be designated by the Republic, even symbolically. For the president's annual banquet, there is no figurine in their galette des rois.
All right, we're going to talk more about France's galette des rois with my guests today who are joining me on the set. We have pastry chef Maëva Machon. Welcome back. You're an award-winning chef from Union Bakery. You've already been on the show. We're going to talk about the galette des rois with you. Also, Eugénie Pont. Hello, Eugénie.
Hello.
So, journalist at Fou de Pâtisserie, which is a magazine and a website that brings you the very best in French pastry. So, welcome to both of you. Maëva, I'm going to start with you. Tell us a bit more about what's in a galette des rois. How do you make it? Like, what's exactly inside
So
it?
that's very long to make, like maybe 4 or 5 days at least. And inside
4
there...
or 5 days?
Yeah, days, because just for the dough, to be like 3 or 4 days just for the dough. And the filling is frangipane. That's 2/3 of almond cream and 1/3 of vanilla custard. Like, that's very traditional.
And why has it traditionally been this frangipane, this almond cream inside the galette des rois?
So that was like a wedding gift from an Italian lord for Catherine de Médicis when she married Henri II.
Okay, and so traditionally it's always been almond.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the less traditional ones in just a minute. But one other part of this tradition, of course, is the fève. We saw there in that piece, that little surprise that's inside. How do you as a baker decide what kind of fève you're going to put inside your galette des rois?
So for us, for Union, we have to choose something fun, because that's a tradition. The galette des rois is a tradition who gathers like friends, family, step-family, like colleagues. So we want something fun.
So what did you do this year?
We made like shoes and little elephants.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. Eugénie, so as I was saying, there's lots of different ways to make galette des rois. It's evolved a lot over the years. I mean, tell us a bit about that evolution. How did it go from just being frangipane to other types of galettes?
I would say that it started 10 years ago with different flavors. It was the traditional one with frangipane, but the frangipane, you know, is made with almond. And it started to be with pistachio and hazelnut and sometimes some chocolate. And then I would say like 2 or 3 years ago, it started to be a very creative plan for the chef to improve their creativity. And basically it started with Palace, who had to propose different and something very impactful. So, and now you can find really lot of different ways.
Right. So you brought a bunch of different with you. So
Yes.
first of all, Maëva, yours is a traditional frangipan,
Yeah.
correct?
Exactly.
Okay, that's Maëva's from Union Bakery. Eugenie, tell us about these other ones, because some of them are not traditional at
No,
all.
absolutely not. So this one is made by Jeffrey Cagne, who is a very famous Parisian pastry chef. It's a babka. You know, babka is a traditional Jewish brioche. So it's made with pistachio and citrus flavor. This one made by Maison Le Nôtre.
It's a lovely crown.
Yeah, yeah. You want to? So this one is made with panettone. So you know the panettone is made a lot of success now in France for the Christmas time. So they mix the frangipan with some panettone flavor and panettone itself. This one is made by Le Fouquet's. So
Pretty.
this one is amazing. It's brioche based with a puff pastry and praline hazelnut. So, you know, this one is from a palace, Le Fouquet's, and you see how they like to work it like a jewel.
And are there little gold
yeah,
touches on top?
gold on the top,
Amazing.
and also hazelnuts.
And this is the first time in my life I've ever heard of a savory, or what we say in France, a salé galette des rois.
Exact.
What's that?
So this is Maison Véro. You know, Maison Véro is very famous in France for charcuterie, and they are the master of the pâté en croûte. And they decided to propose a salted galette des rois, which is made of pig and foie gras, and the fève inside is a pig, and even the bag, you know, is very very funny with a pig on it. And also the crown, of course, has a pig on it. So I would say it's a different way to celebrate.
Why, if you don't have a sweet tooth, why not?
Exactly. And this
Exactly.
is, of course, masterpiece.
So Maëva, you've had lots of success with your bakery. You even won the Best Bakery Creation Award at the 2023 Food et Pâtisserie Pastry Awards. Give us some insider tips if someone at home wanted to make their own galette des rois. Do they have to take 4 days to do it, or is there an easier way?
Oh, there is no easier way to do it. So you have to just let the dough rest a maximum time. So you do the dough, you let it rest for the night in the fridge or even in the freezer, and then you fold it. So single fold, 2 double fold, and the last one single fold, all in like 2 or 3 days. Because you stress the dough so much, and you have to keep the butter and the dough between 12 and 80 degrees Celsius.
Cold.
Yeah, very cold. Because if you if it's too hot, the butter and the dough will mix together, and it will be a brioche and not a puff pastry.
Cooking is science, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially the puff pastry.
Pastry. Eugenie, Food et Pâtisserie, your magazine's focusing on galettes this month as well. What can we find inside the magazine?
You can find different type of galette, the traditional one, but also some variation. And you have all the secret and all the tips to make it great. And this is all the trends of this early year.
Maëva, as a baker, what's the one tip you would tell people not to mess up their galette des rois if they're making it at home?
Don't mess up the cooking time.
Ah, okay.
You have to cook it like well, but not too much, because inside you have the frangipan, you know, and if the frangipan is not well cooked, that's not very good.
I think I've messed mine up just reheating it, so I'll take that to heart about the cooking. All right, we were talking about all these different flavors. Just to wrap up, what are you? Are you more frangipan favorites or the strange different one favorites? Eugenie, what do you prefer?
I would say frangipan favorite.
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
Me too.
I have
I'm
to
a classical
admit,
girl.
I'm a classical girl too. I mean, these are all wonderful.
But you know,
I
in
like
France,
them.
there are a fight. Huh? In the north of France, it's frangipan,
Yeah.
and in the south, it's brioche.
Oh,
Yeah.
With candied fruits on it.
Paris is in the north, so I'm
So
going to
it's like
say...
chocolatine and pain au chocolat.
Exactly.
You know,
Well,
there is a fight.
thank you so much to both of you for coming on and telling
Thank
us
you,
all
Jenny.
about the galette des rois. Bonne fête de galette des rois, or how do you would say bonne épiphanie, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, or happy galette des rois if you
Happy galette des
celebrate
rois.
it. Thank you so much to both of you
Thank
for
you,
coming
Jenny.
in.
Thank you,
very
Jenny.
much.